This should be the fight of the year. Beterbiev versus Bivol is finally upon us, around 6 p.m. Eastern Time, a fight that we've been waiting years to see, and if you're looking for a bet for this, the one I'm going with up front, I'm going to go with Beterbiev on the money line. You can find that on DraftKings, actually, this time is where the better line is, and you'll find that at plus 110. FanDuel isn't so much off from it, it's plus 104. Stick around for more detailed bets on the Beterbiev versus Bivol fight, as well as undercard fights that I think you should definitely take a look at. But before we go into that, let's just get into the intro. My name is Percy, and welcome to the 4Bs, where we discuss boxing, betting the B-side, and other BS. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of the picks, make sure to like and subscribe, and you will get any updates that I have for you. Before we get back into the Beterbiev and Bivol fight, let's go into the undercard. There are some fighters here I definitely want to make sure you don't miss. Definitely take a look at Skye Nicolson. The reason why you should take a look at Skye Nicolson is, well, she's really pretty. But she's also a great fighter. She's 10-0. She's a championship holder. The thing about her, though, is that she only has one KO. And this is very typical of women's boxing, where they usually go to decision because of the 2-minute rounds. So in this one, as a part of a parlay piece, you can bet on Skye Nicolson to win by decision. And that one is something you can find on FanDuel at minus 350. If you're looking at DraftKings only, then you're looking at a minus 425. All right, so let's get back to the Beterbiev versus Bivol fight before we get into the other undercard fights. Let's go with the obvious one. If you're looking at Beterbiev and you think you're going to have him win the fight, then the one you're probably looking at is Beterbiev by KO or TKO. And if you're looking at that, DraftKings again has the better line at plus 175. FanDuel isn't too far off at plus 160. But now I want you to do something. I want you to close your eyes and envision how you believe this fight will go. If you are looking at this fight as something that Bivol is going to win, then he's going to have to fight what amounts to a perfect fight. He's going to have to use his boxing skills to make sure he doesn't get caught by the one-punch power that Beterbiev has. But I want you to make sure, if you were thinking that this fight is going to look a lot like, let's say, a skill mismatch between Arturo Gatti and Floyd Mayweather, where Gatti just had to try and bully his way to a victory, or try and, that's not what this is going to be. Bivol is an incredibly skilled fighter. But Beterbiev isn't that far behind. He's a very skilled fighter himself. He's just known to be a power puncher because he has that kind of power. That's the obvious thing between the two, is that if you're looking at power, Beterbiev clearly has more, and he can end a fight with one punch. Bivol typically doesn't do that. He's going to take things to decision. If I'm looking at a better comparison between these two fighters and what might be in the past, it's not a perfect one. The one I would compare it to would be Canelo versus Khan. Because I remember back when that fight was going to happen, long before we had DraftKings and FanDuel and everything like that, a friend of mine and I were talking about the fight and how we thought it would go down. I said, I think that Khan is going to outbox Canelo and he's going to win some rounds to begin. But then he's going to get caught by one shot and the fight will be over. And that's kind of what happened. I know the scorecards at the time of the knockout, I think they were even, or might have had one person with Canelo ahead, but that's kind of like the Canelo effect when you have boxing. And I feel like not to that same extent, that is what Bivol would have to do, is to fight a perfect fight to avoid the knockout punch. He's had fights where he's been stalked by a guy like Canelo and been able to handle that, but Beterbiev is a very different animal here. You have someone who is naturally the same size and actually growing beyond that size and has tons of power. I foresee it as being something where Beterbiev will be able to catch him. And honestly, if we're talking about going back to the reason why I do this for you guys, I'm trying to give you bets that'll make you have more enjoyment of the fight. Which side of the fight do you really want to root for? Do you want to root for the guy to never get hit? Or do you want to root for the guy who's going to hunt down the other fighter and eventually knock him out? It's more fun to root for that for me, so Beterbiev is my guy in this fight. We're going to circle back again to the Beterbiev and Bivol fights, but let's go back to the undercards to see a couple more fights there that I think you can put some money down on if you'd like to. Before you do that, though, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And if you know somebody else who might like our content here, let them know as well. All of us can eat. So let's go back to the undercard, where we have Opetaia versus Jack Massey. In this one, everybody has Opetaia as the heavy favorite. I think he's in the minus 2,000 or something on the money line, which is not even worth looking at. But something that is worth looking at is him to win over Massey by a decision. The reason why I say this is because Massey is a guy who has lost 2 fights but has only lost them by decision. And one of those fights that he lost was at heavyweight, where he fought Joseph Parker, who had 30 plus pounds on him at the time, and he lasted to the final bell. So I think it's worth it when you look at FanDuel and you see it's plus 460 to take Opetaia by a decision or points. DraftKings is not too bad. It's plus 400. Me personally, yes, I will be putting something on this one because I feel there's value in that bet. Then in the next undercard, we have a rematch between Fabio Wardley and Frazer Clarke. These are two heavyweights who are from the UK. It was a fight that was very bloody and very competitive, and everybody is looking forward to seeing this again. I looked at that fight. I believe that Frazer Clarke is a far more skilled boxer, and as long as he can stay away from some of the winging punches that Wardley throws, he should be able to get away with a decision victory here. And if that's the case, then FanDuel has him at plus 390, and DK is almost the same at plus 380. So again, this is something I will put something on. I'll tell you, like if you don't know about it, Clarke is a bronze medal Olympian from the Tokyo Games in 2021 for the UK. And he actually got his start working as security for fights. You'll actually even see him in 2015 if you want to look up this video when Anthony Joshua fought Dillian White, and the two camps converged after the first round because of some after the round punches thrown by White. You'll see Clarke get in there, separating people and trying to maintain the peace. That's an interesting fact there. You also will know that Clarke has sparred with Joshua and other top heavyweights for many rounds. I just think he's a far more polished product, and he should be able to get the victory here. Now let's get back into the Beterbiev and Bivol fight. If you want a really sneaky pick, this is kind of one of those things where you just put it in your back pocket, screenshot the bet that you made all on its own so you can show off at the end again, right? Pick Beterbiev to win by decision. That's plus 700 on FanDuel, plus 650 on DraftKings if that's where you are. The skill difference is not that great between the two of them. And if Beterbiev's knee is healthy the way he believes it is, I believe he can go ahead and escape with this victory, even if it goes to the cards. Because the way I do see it going is very close rounds. And if he does happen to clip Bivol and knock him down, of course, that swings things in his favor. One thing I see happening there is if Bivol gets a taste of that power, and he does get up, I believe Bivol will be tough enough to get himself back up. He will keep on fighting, but he'll probably fight at a much more defensive rate, trying to protect himself, even if it is for a round or two to get back to his senses and everything like that. But I do feel there will be an opportunity there for Beterbiev to escape with a decision victory. If you want to hedge your bets, though, so here's something that you can find on FanDuel. You can pick Beterbiev to win and round whatever to start. But it doesn't really get interesting to me until we start getting to like round 9 or so, where it's like plus 230, and then round 10 is plus 310. If I was to hedge my bets, that's what I would do. I'm not so sure that I'm going to do that. I kind of like the all or nothing here, but I might take a look at it as part of a parlay piece, if anything. I believe this fight will go into the deeper rounds, and that's kind of why I look at the rounds 9 and 10 as the areas for that hedging of the bet. But if you want to have some deeper prop bets to work on, DraftKings actually has a couple of things here that I would pretty sure I would put a little bit on just to give me something else to root for here. One is for Bivol to be knocked down and Beterbiev to win by decision, and that's at plus 1400. And the other one is for Beterbiev to be knocked down and win by KO or TKO at plus 3000. Now, Beterbiev has been knocked to the canvas twice before. Bivol has the accuracy to be able to catch Beterbiev when he might be a little bit off balance or moving forward and not protecting himself. So I can see that happening too. Beterbiev has the ability to end the fight with one punch, so why not? This is worth a little bit of something on it. Well, there you have it. I hope that helps you out, and I hope that helps you enjoy the fights tonight. They should be really good. I'm really looking forward, especially to the main event. This is going to be incredible. I really hope that Beterbiev's knee is as he claims it is, and that he's healthy. That's what I'm staking my claims on here. I hope everything works out. We'll get to see you guys again after the fights are over. Enjoy your Saturday.